Orumale's Hunter. The tale of Ayégbò and the spirits of Ibadan. The land was still young, when Ibadan was not yet a city of iron roofs, but a wide kingdom of red soil and hunters' cries. Men lived by the bow, women by the calabash, and spirits by the wind. Among them was Ayégbò, the son of Ogunmala, a fearless hunter whose arrows could pierce the eye of an antelope mid-leap. Ayégbò's fame had spread from Okbola to Ojoba, and even beyond the brown hills of Ayégbò. But his heart, despite his strength, was gentle, too gentle. He loved a woman named Adùké, a maiden whose laughter could make even the dry stream smile again. Adùké was beauty and trouble mixed in one calabash. Her eyes would color palm wine at dusk. Her voice like a talking drum tuned by the gods. But beauty in ancient Ibadan was a dangerous thing. Adùké was the daughter of Ìyálọ the priestess of Un, a woman feared, loved, and envied. People said her tongue could bless or ruin a man before the next moonrise. So when Adùké and Ayégbò began to meet secretly by the river, whispers began to travel, from market women to wives, from wives to Ìyálọ's ears. And so began a tale of love that defied custom, and betrayal that shook spirits awake. Ayégbò came silently, bow across his back, face soft in moonlight. Adùké, he whispered, if the world were a drum, I'd beat it only for your name. She smiled, a danger smile. Ayégbò, she said softly, you speak like a hunter who has seen the spirit of his prey and fallen in love. He laughed, kissed her hand, and looked at the stars. Let the spirits hear. If loving you means war, I will face it like my father faced a leopard. From the shadows, a pair of eyes watched. A woman's eyes, sharp, jealous, and filled with the venom of rumor. A beak, Adùké's friend, or so Ayégbò thought. Later that night, a beak knelt before the Ìyálọ. Aya, she whispered, your daughter walks with the hunter of Ogunmala. The spirits of Un may not like it. Ìyálọ paused. The shells fell. Silence filled the air. Then she smiled, slow, dangerous. Let her love a hunter, she said coldly. When the forest answers, she will know why water and blood never mix. The next morning, Ayégbò went hunting near Odoona, where mist rises thick like secrets, but the forest was silent. No birds, no breeze, only whispers. He heard his name, faintly, Ayégbò, Ayégbò. He turned, and there she was, a woman in white, eyes like mirrors, standing by a silk cotton tree. Do not take the path of Adùké's heart, she said, voice soft like water. For love that burns too brightly calls shadows from the deep. Before he could speak, she vanished, leaving only the scent of rain. He hurried home, shaken. When he told his father, Ogunmala, the old man's face hardened. That was Ayégbò, the spirit of the forest forge. She speaks only when iron and blood are about to meet. Ayégbò swallowed. But still, that night, he went to meet Adùké, because love, like fire, does not listen to warnings. Adùké, he said, the spirits warn against us. I fear what I do not see. She laughed, brushing his cheek. My mother fears hunters, not love. Are you afraid of women, Ayégbò? He smiled faintly. Not women, just fate. They embraced, unaware that the river itself was listening, and the goddess within it was waking from her calm. The oath of the river and the whispering calabash. The next day, Ibadan awoke to the hum of the market. At Ojaoba, women called out prices in sweet voices, men bargained, drums spoke, and life danced to the rhythm of survival. But in the heart of that noise, Adùké walked with her head lowered, her eyes far away. Inside her calabash was something strange, the kind of thing only a priestess's daughter would dare to touch. It whispered when no one listened. It glowed faintly when darkness came. It was called a Rukra Un, the sacred tale of Un's messenger, wrapped in cloth and sealed by an oath. That night, when the moon was round like a silver drum, Adùké called Ayégbò to the river again. Tonight, she said softly, we bind our love before Un herself, so that even the gods will know my heart belongs to you. Ayégbò hesitated. Adùké, your mother serves a goddess, won't she? She cut him short with a look that silenced even the wind. My mother speaks to gods. I speak to my heart, and it calls your name. Then she opened the calabash. A soft hum filled the air. The river rose slightly, as if listening. Adùké dipped her hand into the light and touched Ayégbò's forehead, With this, I vow, no woman shall come between us. No curse shall find us, not even my mother's shadow. Ayégbò, trembling, whispered, and I vow, by Ogun's ire and my father's blood, to never break this bond. The water hissed, faint but real, then fell still. They did not see the reflection behind them. The faint figure of Ìyálọ unmute, her eyes glowing like coals beneath her veil. That night, in her temple, the Ìyálọ sat cross-legged before her altar. Cowrie shells and blood-stained cola nuts lay before her. She called the river spirits. Anoloto, omi tien rin, tien so, she whispered. Water that walks and speaks, hear me? She saw visions. Ayégbò and her daughter, laughing beneath the moon. She saw iron meeting water. And she saw fire rising where there should have been love. The Ìyálọ's face hardened. Imaji ki inu omi duin loriina, she said softly. Let no river rejoice where fire sleeps. She took a strand of Adùké's hair, tied it around a black cowrie, and dropped it into the calabash. From that moment, fate began to twist. Ayégbò began to feel it first. His arrows, once perfect, now missed. His dogs refused to follow him into the bush. Even the forest spirits that once guided him fell silent. He dreamed of water every night. Cold, endless water with a woman's face beneath it, calling his name. He went to his father. Baba, something follows me, he said. I dream of rivers that have eyes. Ògúnmọ́lá looked long at his son. You have walked too deep into the priestess's house, he warned. The gods of water are jealous. But Ayégbò shook his head. I love her, Baba. What can love do that Ogun's iron cannot fix? The old hunter sighed. Love can pierce where arrows cannot. The next moon, Ibadan's wind changed. The market women whispered. The river turned a strange color, gold in daylight, black at night. Adùké grew pale, sleepless. At night, she would wake up trembling, saying she heard drums beneath the water, drums calling her name. She went to her mother in secret. Aya, the river speaks. It calls my name like an enemy. The Ìyálọ smiled faintly. Maybe the river remembers the oath you took. Did you think I'd forget so easily? Adùké froze. You know, I know everything the water sees, her mother whispered. Then coldly, and it sees betrayal. That night, Ayégbò came to see her. He found her trembling, hair loose, eyes wild. She ran to him, weeping. Ayégbò, something is wrong. The river, it calls me by name. He held her close. I will protect you. Ogun, stand by me. But as he spoke, thunder roared, shaking the ground. A voice, neither human nor divine, whispered from the rain. An oath made in love cannot be broken without blood. They froze. Before them stood a figure, shimmering, half light, half water. It was an Olodo, the spirit mother of their oath. Two hearts, she said, her voice echoing across the valley. Bound before my river, yet one walks and lies. Adùké turned to Ayégbò, her face pale. Lies! The goddess raised her hand. The hunter carries a secret older than his name. Ayégbò's knees trembled. The secret, one he'd buried since his youth, now rose from its grave. The secret of the hunter's blood. The air was thick. The storm had stopped, but thunder still rolled in the distance like a drumbeat of fate. Ayégbò trembled before the goddess, his heart beating faster than the drum of Ogun's festival. His mouth was dry, his tongue heavy. He knew the truth she spoke of, the secret he had buried since his first hunt, the truth that could destroy everything. The goddess's voice rolled across the water again, soft but sharp as iron. Son of Ògúnmọ́lá, do you think the river cannot see what flows beneath your skin? Adùké turned to him, tears mixing with rain. Ayégbò, what is she saying? What secret? Ayégbò bowed his head, unable to meet her eyes. Adùké, I was not born of one world. The wind froze, even the river stilled. I was born, Ayégbò whispered. On the day a spirit walked into my father's compound, my mother, she was not fully human. Long before Adùké was born, Ògúnmọ́lá the hunter had once gotten lost deep in the forest of Oluku. He followed the cry of an animal, but what he found was no animal. It was a woman by the riverbank, weeping golden tears. She was called Enienomoran, the human of the sky, a spirit cast from the heavens for loving a mortal. She begged Ògúnmọ́lá for help. He took her in, and by the time the new moon came, she had vanished, leaving behind a newborn wrapped in white cloth. That child was Ayégbò. The goddess's eyes burned brighter. So the blood of the sky runs in your veins, hunter, and yet you bound yourself to the daughter of water. Her voice thundered, shaking the trees. Fire and river may dance, but one must drown the other. Ayégbò fell to his knees. Anolodo, forgive us. Our love is pure. The goddess looked away. Even pure water can flood a village. She vanished into mist, leaving behind silence, and a river that now reflected not the moon, but blood. Days passed. Ibadan grew uneasy. The Odo-Ona River overflowed though no rain had fallen. Children spoke of spirits walking in daylight. Market women swore that the wind carried whispers. Whispers that said, love has angered the gods. Adùké's mother, Ìyálọ unmute, smiled in secret. Her plans were working faster than she thought. But even she did not know what her curse had truly awoken. That night, Ayégbò called on the spirit of his mother. He drew her sigil in the soil, a spiral cross with 3 lines, and placed his hunting knife in the center. Ayemi, Enianomarun, he whispered. Show me the path between love and death. The air grew cold. The lamp flickered blue. Then he heard it, a voice like wind through bamboo. Ayégbò, your love is true, but your blood is divided. To walk in 2 worlds, one must die in one. The next morning, Adùké came to him. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen. My mother says the spirits of the river have called me home. She says if I do not go, I will die. Ayégbò's hands shook. She lies. You belong here, with me. Adùké looked away. But the drums, I hear them every night. Ayégbò, they are calling my name, and I feel water in my veins. Ayégbò held her tightly. Then I will follow you, to the river, to the spirits, even to death. And that was the moment when fate sealed its last knot. At the edge of Odo-Ona, the river glowed faintly, as if waiting. They stood together, hands clasped, the air heavy with salt and incense. Suddenly, the wind blew hard. The lamps went out. A hand rose in the river. Then another, then a figure, tall, regal, scale like gold, eyes endless. It was Anolodo again, but this time not alone. Beside her stood another spirit, darker, fiercer. Enianomarun, Ayégbò's spirit mother. The river goddess spoke. Your son has broken the balance. And the spirit mother replied. He only followed his heart. Between them stood Ayégbò and Adùké, trembling, mortal between gods. Then the goddess's voice grew like thunder. If they wish to stay together, they must walk the path of spirits, through love, betrayal, and blood. Ayégbò turned to Adùké, tears in his eyes. Will you walk with me, even if it means never returning? Adùké smiled through her tears. If it means walking beside you, yes. The goddess raised her arm. The ground cracked open. A torrent of water swallowed them both. And just like that, they vanished. In the morning, villagers found only Ayégbò's hunting bow and Adùké's golden bracelet at the riverbank. Some said they drowned. Some said they became spirits. But the Ìyálọ knew the truth, and it haunted her dreams forever. The kingdom beneath the river. The world was quiet. No wind, no heartbeat, no sound but the deep hum of eternity. Ayégbò opened his eyes to a soft glow above him. A sky made of water, rippling with silver light. Beside him, Adùké floated, her hair spreading like black silk, her eyes fluttering open. She whispered, "Are we dead?" Ayégbò looked around, dazed. No, not dead. Somewhere else. Then a voice echoed through the water. "Welcome, children of 2 worlds." Out of the shimmering mist appeared a woman tall as a tree, her skin radiant like flowing water. Anolodo, the river goddess. Behind her stood warriors of coral and pearl, each holding tridents shaped like lightning. Adùké bowed deeply. Ayégbò hesitated. He felt the air vibrate, not air, but spirit breath. Every sound here was alive. An's eyes glowed gold. You have crossed into the kingdom of spirits. Your hearts have defied the balance. But perhaps your love may yet restore it. She motioned for them to follow. They walked through the underworld. A breathtaking sight. Buildings curved like seashells. Creatures half-human. Half-fish swam freely, bowing to the goddess as she passed. Children of the deep laughed in bubbles that rose like glass spheres. Adùké's eyes were wide. "It's beautiful," unsmiled faintly. "Beauty, my daughter, is only the surface. You must see what lies beneath." She led them into a grand hall, walls of rippling mirrors, torches burning with blue flame. At the center stood a pool of black water, still and endless, unturned to them. "You, Ayégbò, born of the sky, and you, Adùké, child of the river. You seek to unite two streams that were never meant to meet." Ayégbò stepped forward. "Our hearts were meant to. The gods may forbid, but love chose us." The goddess raised her hand. Lightning flashed in the water. "Then prove it." The pool shimmered, forming two reflections, one of each of them. But in their reflections, something was wrong. Adùké's reflection smiled when she did not. Ayégbò's reflection, shame heavy in its eyes. An's voice echoed, "To walk this path, each must face the truth buried in their hearts." She found herself in her mother's shrine, candles flickering, shadows dancing. Her mother's voice came from behind. "Adùké, did you not see? The hunter will betray you, just as men always do." Adùké turned. The Ìyálọ stood before her, eyes gleaming with snake scales. Her voice slithered. "Give him up. Return to the river. You were born to rule, not to serve love." Adùké shook her head. "Mother, you fill me with pride, but love taught me humility." She tore off the coral necklace her mother had once given her, the symbol of her bondage, and threw it into the fire. The fire burst into water. The goddess's voice whispered, "You have faced your pride, daughter, but pride always leaves a shadow." Ayégbò's trial. He stood in a vast forest, no sound, no color. A figure stepped from behind a tree. His father, Ògúnmọ́lá. "My son," the hunter said, his voice deep with pain. "You have forgotten your lineage. You carry my strength, yet you chase love that weakens you." Ayégbò clenched his fists. "Father, your strength came from blood. Mine comes from heart. You fought for land, I fight for meaning." Ògúnmọ́lá's ghost raised his fist. "Then prove it. Face what your blood fears most." He fought fiercely, his blade cutting through water and light, until one serpent bit his arm, and in its eyes he saw Adùké. He dropped his weapon. "No, I will not kill love to prove strength." The beast dissolved. The forest turned to gold. "You have faced your rage," the goddess whispered. "But rage leaves scars that time cannot heal." The trial of two hearts. Both returned to goddess's hall, exhausted but changed. Unregarded them silently. Then she stepped closer, her eyes softening. "You have both walked through shadow and returned to light. One test remains, the test of sacrifice. Only one of you may return to the mortal world. The other must remain beneath the river, forever guarding the balance you disturb." Silence, the sound of heartbeats. Ayégbò stepped forward immediately. "Take me, let her live." Adùké grabbed his hand, tears streaming. "No, my love, I caused this. Let me stay." An's voice grew gentler, sadder. Love that sacrifices itself is the highest prayer. Then everything went silent. When the villagers woke the next morning, the river had returned to normal. Its waters were calm, clear, and full of fish once more. At the edge of the riverbank, two shapes could be seen beneath the surface, forever entwined, shining faintly whenever the moon rose. Elders said the river had forgiven Ibadan. Hunters said that when they prayed before dawn, they heard faint laughter in the ripples, man's and woman's. And during every festival, when drums beat by the water, people swore they saw two figures dancing in the mist, one dressed in white, one in coral. Moral of the story: love without humility is pride. Power without sacrifice is ruin. And even when hearts are torn apart, true love finds its echo somewhere between the worlds. What do you think, storytellers? If you were Ayégbò or Adùké, would you stay beneath the river for love, or return to life and forget it all? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories where the spirit world meets the human heart. Just like this one. Because here, every tale breathes, and every breath tells a tale. Time passed. Seasons grew wings and flew. Rain washed the land, and the sun baked its scars dry again. But the river remembered, and so did Ibadan. For weeks after Ayégbò and Adùké vanished, the people lived in uneasy silence. Women whispered prayers at the riverbank. Hunters poured palm wine before stepping into the forest. Children were forbidden to play near the water after dusk. But slowly, softly, the land began to heal. Fish returned to the Otoona. Birds sang again in the forests. And the market women of Ojaoba said the wind felt lighter, as if a great burden had finally drifted away. One night, the elders of Ibadan gathered beneath a great Irako tree. Around them burned small fires of Ogun's wood, crackling softly. A great elder named Babayaro spoke first. Two lovers walked into the river, but spirits returned in their place. There is balance again. Another elder nodded slowly. The gods have taken what was owed. Let the story be a lesson, for love must bow before truth. But an old woman sitting in the corner, one who saw what others could not, whispered, "Not all truth is spoken. Some truth lives beneath the river." Her dreams were filled with voices that sounded like water striking stone. Every night, she heard Adùké calling her name, not in anger, not in pain, but in forgiveness. Ayemi, why did you fear my love?" The Ìyálọ woke sweating, gripping her chest. The weight of her conspiracy, the lies, the manipulation, the curse, crushed her like iron. In the market, women whispered, "The Ìyálọ doesn't speak as before. Her spirit, it's breaking." She began visiting the river every dawn, walking barefoot, her once fierce eyes now soft with regret. She poured libations, chanting, "O with grave un, cleanse the water of my pride, cleanse the heart of my daughter." And though the river remained silent, sometimes, just sometimes, ripples formed in the shape of a hand touching hers. The hunters see a sign. One evening, a group of hunters returning from the forest stopped at the river to wash their feet. As they bent down, the water glowed faintly. Then suddenly, a flash of movement. Two shapes rose beneath the surface. One male, one female, both glowing gold and blue. The youngest hunter jumped back. "Ha! Ayemi, what is that?" But the oldest hunter, gray-haired and calm, whispered, "Ayégbò," and the one he chose above all things. They watched silently as the two spirits danced beneath the water, hand in hand, circling like twin moons. When they vanished, the forest grew quiet, as if bowing to their memory. The hunters carried the story to Ojaoba, and by nightfall, all Ibadan knew of the spirits in the river. The legend began, the festival of two hearts. Months later, during the first harvest, the elders declared a new yearly ritual. Osite, the Wind and Blood Festival. A festival celebrating balance between wind, Ayégbò, son of the sky, water, Adùké, daughter of the river. At the riverbank, maidens dressed in blue and white dance like flowing water. Hunters in red and brown dance like wandering winds. Drums beat, dun dun, dun dun, ifeti wa inuomi. Love that entered the river. Mothers sang, children clapped, and in the glittering surface of the water, two faint figures always appeared, blurring the line between myth and truth. The spirit who became a legend. As years rolled into decades, the story of Ayégbò and Adùké became a tale told by mothers putting babies to sleep, elders during moonlight gatherings, hunters preparing for dangerous journeys, lovers meeting secretly beneath palm trees. And always the moral remained the same. Pride drowns what love builds, unless sacrifice lifts it again. Some said they once heard laughter echoing from the river at night. Some swore that, during deep sorrow, the river spoke comfort. Ibadan grew from a hunter's camp into a vast city. But by the Otoona River, the legend remained alive, as old as the soil, as deep as the water, as eternal as sacrifice, the unfinished whisper. One night, long after the Ìyálọ had grown frail and gray, she walked, slowly, toward the river. Her hands shook. Her heart pounded like a dying drum. She knelt by the water. "Adùké, my daughter, forgive me." For a moment, the river was silent. Then, a soft ripple, a familiar voice, warm, gentle, calling her name. The Ìyálọ wept, tears mixing with the river that had taken her daughter, yet returned her peace. The next morning, she was found sitting by the water, smiling, but gone. They buried her beside the river she had both feared and served. And some said they saw three figures, one of water, one of wind, one of coral, standing together beneath the moon. Moral of the story: Egboran ki aje ki ari ife. Disobedience blinds a heart to love, and pride is the river that carries us away from what truly matters. Jibiene benuki aitan lara okenti ko feran. But anger fades in the heart that chooses forgiveness. If you were a Duk or Ayégbò, would you have chosen love enough to remain beneath the river forever? Or would you choose life, even if it meant letting your beloved go? Let me know in the comments.